It started to go years ago with the Hunger Games, and then for some reason they were on fire and it was catching, and then now they started mocking someone by the name of Jay.
Please ignore Marv's useless babble. He's
Hello,
not
ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our
Samoan strike! Yeah, as this little douchebag was saying, we are the Emeranters, and we're going to review The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. What he said.
What he said. Start the review!
Well, sorry, carry on.
What? So where do you want to start?
You wanker. So Mark and I were finished watching the film at the cinema yesterday, and what did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was surprising. Okay, let's give a quick rundown of what I know about The Hunger Games. I watched the first one. I have not watched Catching Fire, so I did not know what to. I've read it. I've listened to a few bits from the book.
And I came in,
and he knows two things about it: Jack and Chip. So there. So we decided to see it because
I thought the trailer looked good.
Yes, good old Donald and Katniss Everdeen. So, as usual, these videos are very heavily spoiler-filled because we don't know how. We're not professionals, so we can't give our full opinions without spoiling the film. But hopefully, you enjoyed it as much as this guy did, and if not, we'll forget. Anyway, so where do we start? Okay. Where do you want to start?
Well, for one, I want to. Bleh.
He wants to blare on you.
Shut your fucking mouth. You
want to blare all over Katniss, gotcha.
Marv?
Shut your fucking mouth.
Shut your fucking mouth!
Didn't see that one coming.
Shut the fuck up, you cunt!
Alright, I'm gonna play some Smash while you talk about what you like about the game.
Well, just I'm finally glad to see we got a female lead character for once, which you don't see that often in films. Yeah. What's the other figure?
Yes, so Katniss Everdeen is definitely one of the most, when I think of, 3D, when I think of women in films, Katniss, like strong female leads, Katniss does come to mind. Although she does have some moments where she is weak.
Yeah.
Not in her as sense as she's I mean as in her character is
emotionally weak.
Emotionally tormented. And that really shows how the villain, President Snow, gets into her head. Even though Mike thinks the villain was kind of a letdown, I thought he was.
I didn't give a shit.
He's a more psychological villain, and you don't see that much. Well, it's quite the big thing now. Yeah, but President Snow has been the president for
God knows how long.
For years. So he knows his way around politics. He is the main politician, and how he keeps that way is and stuff. So yeah, he does know how to torment the human mind because and stuff. So he's a very unique villain in a way. He's a politician, but he's not boring. He's strict as hell, so it kind of sounds generic how I'm explaining it, but it's not really.
He's a dictator for one.
He puts the dick in dictator.
and he's a totalitarian.
He is played very well by Donald Sutherland. Donald Sutherland it's all in the performance for me to make this sound on paper generic character, come to life. In that regard, I think it's done well. And I think the villain is quite good. It's just we don't see much of him in the movie. He's there for an opening monologue, and he's there for the closing monologue. And
I think that's kind of a big of a problem with me for the film.
Well, you got to remember this is part one, so there's a lot of it where they have left for the second half of the film. And to me, well, I knew that coming in because it is Hunger Games Part 1. If you want a satisfying ending, this isn't it, because it's only part 1,
Durr.
It ends on a huge cliffhanger. And the reason, if it was a normal film, I would flip my shit about it, but it says it pretty much. It's called Part 1. They pretty much said there's going to be a Part 2, and Part 2 is being made. So I'm not going to flip my shit because it says Part 1. So you expect to get like a, I don't want to say this, cliffhanger ending. So,
and he really hates Peter, apparently.
Oh.
Remember, I know nothing about the Hunger Games, so don't jump your guns on me.
I can't stand this little shit of a character. I didn't like him in the first Hunger Games film. And I've heard he doesn't get any better from the second one. But just see Katniss fall for a guy like him is just, why? He's not a very, I don't like him that much.
Probably because he's hot to her, apparently.
What? Peter's not hot.
No.
If I was a girl, I wouldn't find Peter hot. Gail's a hunk, and I don't need to be a woman to know that. You know Gail is, he's in the film.
Yeah.
So looks isn't everything, but like Peter's kind of, he's got a stiff personality to me. I've got no problems against the actor who plays him. I think he plays him very well. It's how the character is written in both the books and the film that just doesn't make me like him. And even when we're supposed to feel sorry for him in this film, and when he's on the TV screen and he shows up with all bruise marks on his face, I'm like, huh.
I like Weapon Peter.
Everybody's like meant to be, oh, Peter's being bullied. I'm like, ha! Punch in the face.
Yeah, he's a heartless bastard, I know that.
Just when it comes to Peter, because like I like any other characters, even though there's even the characters more at the beginning are okay. Let's talk about this thing. This film is not a really big action film. It's not an action film. There are some action bits in it, but there's no really big action scene at all. There's really no action scene in it at all. There is action bits like, oh, they're attacking our hideout and
they blew up that hospital thing.
And yeah, so that was.
Pardon me.
Okay, this is one of the best. I didn't feel attached to any of the characters in that hospital. I know you're meant to feel sad about them, like, oh, look, they're fighting a war that they can't win, and it's meant to show that President Snow's a heartless bastard. But I didn't feel attached to any of the people in the hospital, and I'm not sure why. Maybe because it was so abrupt, and for some reason I kind of felt it was going to happen. So I just didn't feel for any of the characters in the hospital. Yeah, it was sad, but I didn't cry. My God, this video is making me seem like a cold-hearted prick. Mike, say something you like about the film.
Well, I thought it was near perfect, because I thought the story was actually fucking amazing. I mean, it had nearly all of the things I'm really into in it. A strong female character, check. War, check. Military, kinda, check.
Additional cunts who need to be taken down, check. Oh, that's fine.
Yep. Political strategies, check. Government corruptions, check.
Well, I don't think it was government corruption.
Well, whatever, you get it.
I just know that Snow's Snow's not really corrupted, is he?
Well, he's a prick.
He's just cold.
Yeah, he's a
prick.
Cunt.
But he's afraid of rebellion, because like every time, even if he sees like sniffers a little glimpse of rebellion, no, God, fucker, no, get now. so he's like, blow that shit up. He's like that. That's Snow.
Blow that shit up.
That place is gone. Like, what? That place is gone! Ah! Okay, that sounds weird.
I did like Weapon Peter though at the end.
Okay, this is a huge spoiler bit. Well,
you have been warned.
You have been warned. At the end of the film, they rescue. How the fuck do you say his name?
Peter.
They rescue Peter. Okay. They rescue him, and this was like quite shocking because I was expecting. Oh, when Katniss. I know it's like cat was short for something. There was a cat in the film, by the way. Katniss goes into she sees the back of Peter and we see him. They rescued him, but why? Okay, that sounds stupid. She goes to. Okay, I'm gonna just summarise it. Throughout the entire film, Katniss has been wanting to save Peter, so they actually finally save him off screen. You'll see. They don't tell you. It's like you're like, why did they save him on screen? Because there's a big twist. And when she sees Pia, he grabs her by the throat and tries to snap her neck. And this was like, because the music is just like, they're about to, because everybody is like, they're about to snog or something. And then he's just looking at her like that, and he's okay, he doesn't sound like that. He doesn't sound like him.
Yeah, you're a wanker.
End of scene. But yeah, it's like really quite fast. Like he just looks at her for like 2 seconds and then he's like,
that was cringeworthy awful, by the way.
So yeah, and they then say in the film, later in the film, because everybody's like wondering what the fuck was that about. So they do tests and they found out that Snow has been doing, I don't know.
He's been fucking with him.
In short, they kind of brainwash Peter. If you want the short version, they explain it well, but they pummeled him and they beat him and they pretty much put all that anger, with thanks to drugs. Thanks, drugs. Pretty much put all that anger onto Katniss. So whenever he sees Katniss, he is blood.
He flips out.
It makes his blood boil, and he wants to.
Yeah, he flips out essentially.
He flips. He goes apeshit. And Mike's really into that when a best friend or a lover character becomes pretty much an enemy.
I love that shit. Okay, like look at Winter Soldier.
I just wish I liked Peter for me to care.
Look at Deadpool in Origins.
This gives me a reason. This way, at least I can say this way I can hate Peter and no one will judge me. I hate Peter. Why?
Oh.
Hopefully in part 2 they kill Peter. I'm smiling because you can't tell.
Yeah, he's one heartless bastard.
Yeah, I really can't stand Peter. I've mentioned that so many times, but I don't see what Katniss sees in him, okay?
I just like Weapon Peter, that's it. Weapon.
Because they pretty much turned him into a giant weapon against Katniss.
Yes.
Which is going to make her more emotionally distraught now. More than she already was when she didn't know what happened to Peter.
But it affects the story in a very good way, in case you haven't figured that out.
Well, good for the story, because it's like a really big plot twist. Bad for Katniss. Because now she's in the same base with her, boyfriend who wants to snap her neck. So, yeah. Right. Thanks, Snow! I'm thumbing up. Not in that way. Thumb up this video if you agree with me. Ow. So, I've talked a lot about what I liked about the film. What did you like?
Well, I was going to make some points about it before you had to jump in, you bastard. But I did like, again, strong female character. But I think breathe, Mike. I think females as lead characters is completely underrated, and I think I think we really need to have some more films that have females as the main characters. Like I said, I think this film was near perfect because it had all the things I'm really into, like strong female leadership, check. War, check. Military, somewhat, check. Government corruption, check. Same that kind of stuff, you know. And I thought the way that the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1, they took all of those things and put them up into a nice little blender, and I don't know, it just came out real nice for me. So I was like, I was into this film from the beginning, in case you haven't figured that out. And remember, I came into this film knowing jack and fucking shit about the Hunger Games. Because why? Because honestly, when the first two started coming out, I didn't really give a shit. But then, and also when the first time the Mockingjay trailer came out, I didn't really give a shit. But then after a while, I decided, fuck it, give it a go. I was like, holy wow, this looks actually fucking epic.
I'm gonna drag my body along with me.
Shut your fucking mouth. I didn't drag you into seeing this.
No, I'm just joking.
You've got a funny way of showing it.
I do, don't I?
Yeah, and that is exactly why I hate you, Mark boy.
Exactly away!
There's web in your eye.
Ass! Well, this is going quiet for some reason.
Ass!
So, in country,
Sorry.
that was weird. That was awkward silence. In country, The Hunger Games Part 1. If you know what you're getting yourself in for, okay, I don't like to really review this film because it really is only one half of the film. Yeah, it's kind of like reviewing Deathly Hallows Part 1. Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 1. But you can't really say it's perfect because it really is only one half of a film. So in that regard, I enjoyed it. I'm going to definitely watch when they catch fire for some reason. Hunger Games Catching Fire. Definitely going to watch that and see if it's as... And then I'll be able to piece together what the fuck's going on. But in general, I think it's a good film. But don't go watching this if you haven't watched the other two. And at least bring someone with bring someone with you who has watched the other two. That way you're like, what's happening? You're like, oh this. So that's my. So yeah, do that at least.
Are you gonna watch part 2, Marv?
Yes, if you're up for it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
There you have it, folks. Mike and Marv's review of Part 2.
Part 1.
Hunger Games Part 1, Part 2, coming tomorrow. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Super